The only people for me are the mad ones.
The world is filled with the boring and the barely conscious.
And misery loves company.
But we don't have to live this way.
Jessica and I are here to talk to those the system rejects, to radicals and thought criminals.
The ones who never yawn or say a commonplace thing, but push the boundaries of acceptable discourse.
Those who stare reality in the face and dare it to be different.
History isn't made by the timid, and fun is not had by the perpetually afraid.
We are the mad ones.
So let's get to it. Hi. I think Cam is frozen.
Can you hear me now?
I can. That was a lot of pressure all of a sudden.
Well, see what happened is I forgot to turn off my VPN, and it was like showing me that I had. But let's pretend this didn't happen. Welcome to the Mad Ones and Merry Christmas.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
I am your Christmas is here, and you heathens and atheists can't stop my joy. Host Cam Harless, and with me as always is look, she's finally a Christmas elf hostess, Miss Jessica Green. We did it.
Yay, we did do it. And it's Christmas time. It's finally appropriately Christmas time.
It is.
Even though Cam thinks Christmas all year. And when I was in Florida, I passed this little shop that had a sign in the window that says Christmas all year long. I was like, oh, this is a store for Cam.
This is my store. Yes. Well, we have our Christmas party tonight. So welcome. I don't know how much deep conversation will come, but we're going to have fun. And I have some eggnog and I have some other things. It's going to be fun. It's going to be good. But before we get to it, we do have sponsors. And so I should mention that. But before I do that, look at this. I'm a Viking on a mug. And you can have one of these if you want. If you go to the madonesshop.etsy.com, I mentioned the mug because one, I'm about to pour some eggnog into it. But also, if you like coffee, we have a sponsor that helps us out on this show who makes coffee. It's Run Your Mouth Coffee, and they have a bourbon barrel-aged coffee that is just spectacular. And the only thing to drink it out of are our mugs.
It's your Mad Ones, your official Mad Ones mug.
It's the only way to do it. But if you go to rymcoffee.com and use promo code the Mad Ones, Mom, this is apple juice. If you use that promo code, you get 10% off your order, and that's really nice of them.
I can't believe you lied to your mother on Christmas.
I didn't lie. It is apple juice, Jessica. I don't know if anyone else stirs with a pocket knife, but
you're gonna get coal in your stocking, sir.
Probably.
Coal's a good gift, especially like back in the day when it was hard to live and shit was cold. I feel like coal would have been an awesome gift, but
I mean, especially for the poor kids or people or those kids who wanted to smoke some meats and have their Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce.
Sweet Baby Ray's, which is appropriately kept on one's bookshelf, apparently, according to Mark Zuckerberg.
There's nowhere else to keep it.
Like emulating human behavior, and that's where he thinks the barbecue sauce will go.
But if you like smoked meats, by the way, we have another sponsor, Righteous Felon, who makes some great beef jerky. They have all kinds. They have her favorite's the Fal Capone. I really like
turkey jerky.
I really like, they have a bourbon infused one. I don't want to sound too one note, but that was very good. They have a bourbon. I can't remember the name of it. I do. I like bourbon. I'm an American man. But if you go to righteousfelon.com, use promo code MADONES, you can get 10% off there as well. But first, I want to say this is our Christmas party episode, which means anyone who became a patron before today, which it's December 3rd, gets to watch this with us live. We have some people in here live.
Welcome.
And you know what? We're going to have fun with them. And next year, if you want to join us, join our Patreon. You can be a part of this as well. And that's all I have. I mean, beyond this, tonight we're having a Christmas party. We've got some guests lined up. We have some stories. We have a song.
It is a veritable cavalcade of stars tonight. All
I'm gonna get nervous around all these stars.
they're past guests of the Mad Ones, so it's weird if you get nervous.
Is it though?
Yeah.
I mean, these are really cool people.
Yeah.
But we do have a song, and I thought we'd start by listening to the song, chatting a bit until our first guest gets here.
That's right.
So, first we need to introduce our first guest. I lied. I mean, the first guest comes first, which is just setting
the fire.
Just setting the mood. Let me turn this crackle down just a touch.
You got to turn the crackle down. No one likes too much crackle.
No one likes too much crackle. Here's the thing, though. As soon as I play this next video, I'm pretty sure this goes away. I don't know. We'll find out.
We're gonna find out together.
Friend of the show, friend of Jessica. We've spoken a few times. I like the guy. He likes my tweets and talked about it on his show. So I mean, like, that's best friends. Mr. Steven Ignoramus. We asked him if he wanted to come on and sing a song or play a song or do something fun, chat with us. Unfortunately, he's doing, well, fortunately for him, unfortunately for us, he's doing an open mic tonight. So he couldn't be here live, but he did send us a video, which we will currently play and react to as if we're on that React channel on YouTube. So get your reactions up, you know. So here we go. Here's our first guest by way of video, Mr. Steven Ignoramus.
Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Have a Merry Christmas, Mad One. Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party. Mistletoe hung where you can see every couple tries to stop. Rocking around the Christmas tree, let the Christmas spirit in. Later we'll have some pumpkin pie and we'll do some caroling. You will get a sentimental feeling when you hear the voices singing, let's be jolly, deck the halls with bells of holly. Rocking around the Christmas tree, have a happy holiday.
So awesome.
Dancing merrily in the new old-fashioned sentimental feeling when you hear the voices singing, let's be jolly, deck the halls with boughs of holly. Rocking around the Christmas tree, have a happy holiday. Everyone dancing merrily in the new old-fashioned way.
Yay! This is great. Oh, I love this song. I'm gonna mute myself so I can sing. That was beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Love you all, and God bless.
Oh, that was wonderful. You know, there really is like a Christmas spirit, and I don't mean like a entity or whatever, but like the feeling that you get when you like it's Christmas time. And as an adult, like you get it less and less, you know? It kind of has to appear to you. And normally I'll be in a mall when I get it. But that just gave me the Christmas spirit. Like Silent Night, Steven, who I love to death, singing Silent Night to us, that like really made me feel that Christmas feeling. And I know you know what I'm talking about, Cam, because you have it in like September.
November 1 is when Christmas starts.
Yeah. But you were kind of edging before that.
Oh, I absolutely was, because I just watched like 100 horror movies.
Like, I needed to purify. So you watch 100 horror movies, and you like, you know, destroy your soul basically, because I know you watched that Lars von Trier movie, and then you're like, I need to purify.
What was left in my soul after watching that movie was minor.
But Stephen singing with, you know, the Bible opened to Corinthians, the letter to Corinthians. I don't know if you noticed that. You know, I don't know. It really gave me the Christmas spirit. So thank you for that, Stephen. I'm feeling it.
I appreciate it. And, you know, as you see across the bottom, you can follow Stephen at Ignoramus Steve on Twitter. He does a news live stream every day. It comes up in my notifications on my computer while I'm working every day. And he's a good dude. So you should definitely check him out.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate that, Stephen. Like a lot.
I watch his morning show. It's really funny. He has a sports ball section. It's incredible, especially if you're not a sports fan, which I'm not. So, yeah, definitely check out Steven's podcast. It's amazing. And thank you for that.
With that, we have our first not IRL, but, you know, essentially IRL in the world we live in now.
He's pretty real.
I think he's a real person.
He's one of the real ones.
He's definitely real and mad, and he's got a better voice than Corpse. So to bring him into the stream now, we've got Mr. Perky Biscuits. I know everyone's tiny at the bottom, but they won't let me make this fire any smaller. So
I'm definitely tiny at the bottom.
Why won't they make it tiny at the bottom? Hello, everybody.
Hello.
How you guys doing?
Pretty good. We're using a lot of bad puns today, so.
For Christmas?
Yeah, for Christmas, and I bought a really large, oversized ice cream sandwich at the gas station, and it was called Fat Banana. And so on the way out the door, the clerk goes, "Enjoy your fat banana." And my husband turns around and goes, "Oh, she will." And ever since then, it's been terrible pun after terrible pun.
Hey, there's funny in everything. My wife would love it. She's what is it? She likes minion memes, that kind of humor.
Oh, okay. All right.
So she's a boomer.
No, she's just a child when it comes to her sense of humor.
That is the choice. It's either boomer or child.
I was going to say, there's a second group in there.
Yeah.
It's been a hot minute since we had you on the show. You've gone through a lot since then.
I was just thinking that. Dude, well, one, I changed corners.
Mm-hmm.
Big move. But also, the whole outside of this room is now brand new.
Nice.
Because of the Texas snowpocalypse and the water damage all throughout that. So I was just about to move out when I came on your show for the first time.
Yeah, I remember that.
That sucked because I thought I was going to be able to like stay. We were in a hotel for like 3 weeks, and then we were in an apartment for like another 3 months.
Suck.
And then we basically moved back into the house. Oh, there it is. With the contractors finishing the kitchen. And then now they finally got done.
Wow.
But in the meantime, I was also in the hospital for like 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
Dealing with an infection still. It's fun stuff.
Yeah.
They think it's a bone infection.
Yeah, I remember you saying that, and I was like, what is that like? Because I've talked to a guy who shot his own nut off, but I haven't talked to someone with a bone infection, so...
I didn't even know you could get an infection in your bone. What the F?
Well, essentially the fun thing about those is they can't really test for it. They just threw antibiotics at me until it no longer registered, and then they hoped it went away.
Jeez.
Because like it was because it was like in the inside of a cut that was deep.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
So then that wound closed up, and then they can't test it anymore unless they, gross stuff.
Yeah, that's gross. But I'm also curious. So you cut yourself deep enough that it cut your bone?
Pretty much.
Yikes, dude. I'm glad you're okay, but yikes.
Yeah. So the infection was bad enough that I had like 103-degree fever. So I was in the hospital for about a week and a half dealing with COVID. Nonsense. Holy shit, was it dumb. I got tested for COVID, I think, twice a day.
Really?
For like 2 weeks.
Wow.
It was because I go to the VA also. So fun stuff. This is now going to become a VA rant.
Do it. Why not? This is the venue.
The change in decorum from day to day and doctor to doctor and room to room is outstanding. It really solidifies every conspiracy theory that has existed about COVID. That is just a joke, because why else would doctors care? I had people in full-blown like NASA suits, and then like a regular doctor. The nurse was in the NASA suit. The doctor himself came up, shook my hand, and like sat down and had like a conversation with me. And then the next doctor came in and like wanted me to put on my mask, and then like had hers on with the face shield within like a matter of like 20 minutes.
Fascinating. That's very interesting. So you're in there with a nurse who's dressed like in a hazmat suit, and then a doctor who's wearing nothing at all. And are you not like looking back and forth between them so they'll like notice each other? Like, are you fucking with me right now?
None of them will acknowledge it, and if you question it, mental health services gets involved.
Oh. Yeah.
I've messed with them a couple times.
That sucks. I'm glad that you're over it, yeah?
Well, kind of. The cut still exists, right? Because if it's that deep, it still exists.
Yeah.
But that's whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, anyway, I'm home. I just got over food poisoning. No.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm doing great.
They need to like give you a bubble suit so that you can be a bubble boy and not have to worry about the outside world poisoning you all the time.
Oh, so one thing, and then we can get off the my vacation. So I went to the ER, and then I got generally admitted to like the hospital, and never wore my mask inside my room. Going in and out to go vape outside and grab a snack and all that shit. Yeah, sure, why not? Because I don't want to be bothered. And it's the VA. And then I go to get to outpatient. And to go to outpatient, you got to go to the special section of the hospital that's like departures, I guess. And while I was in general patient, I had my wife coming in every day, bringing me food, staying till way past what it says on the thing. And then as soon as I get to like the departure area, they're like, you have to be quarantined for 2 weeks. I'm like, no. I told him, I was like, I'm leaving. What are you going to do?
Wait, your wife was in there though. Are they telling her she has to quarantine?
No.
What?
I just have to go into quarantine by myself for, I think it was like, they wanted me to go in there for 2 weeks. I'm like, I'll give you a day and a half.
Wow.
Because they had to install a PICC line because I had at-home IVs.
Yeah.
So I gave them, I was like, the PICC line's going in tomorrow. Yeah. I'm leaving the day after. I was like, that's just what's going to happen. My therapist got involved and then she was like, he's not lying. And then they just kind of sped tracked me out of there because they didn't want me causing a commotion.
Wow. Just absolutely wow.
I will say,
go ahead.
What was it? 2 days ago, I went to the hospital because my son was, it was my son. He all of my kids are sick right now. One of them they got a cold, and then now all of them are getting like conjunctivitis. So like they've got the pink eye deal going on with just oozing crap coming out of their eyes, and it's stuck together.
That's fantastic.
But one of them, my oldest, started bleeding from his nose, and it was coming out of his mouth, and it was just more than normal. Lasted about 30 minutes. My wife was freaking out about it. She was like, take him to the hospital. Oh my God, take him to the hospital. So I did. Yeah. And he was fine. It was just kind of a perfect storm between colder air, sinus infection, runny nose, blowing his nose, stuff like that. But I got there and I realized I was wearing my shirt that says COVID positive with a little COVID germ on it. And I got one weird look from a nurse, and then I didn't understand it, but I was like, okay. And I moved on, and then I realized what I was wearing and started laughing in the waiting room. And I walked up to him and I was like, this is a good shirt to wear at the hospital, isn't it? And then with the exception of the one who'd left at that point, all of them laughed and loved the shirt. It then turned into, as they were seeing my son, a nurse practitioner came in, and she had like I think it was like an hour-long conversation with me about how she got her religious exemption, otherwise she'd be out of a job, and went into all of this stuff about how COVID has woken her up to the agenda that's going on. And I was just like, whoa.
That's kind of crazy.
You know, Florida.
So, dude, don't mess with Florida. Those people are crazy.
Well, I'm saying, me and my husband drove down there over the past weekend to go to a boomer birthday party, which, let me tell you something about boomers. They will drink your ass under the table. You think because they're old, they can't like out drink you? They can, and they will. And like then some. Like
I had my wedding this past weekend, so all my uncles and whatnot.
Congratulations.
Thank you. My official ceremony part, Emily's side of it, what she wanted, the big party. Fantastic. Okay. Beautiful.
Yeah.
But all my uncles and stuff slamming shots all night. And they're standing and they're like, oh yeah, I'm good to drive. Like, actually.
And I'm like, how are you alive right now? I mean, you're clearly 1 foot from the grave and you're out drinking me. Like, what is going on here? But on the way down, the whole 75 corridor is filled with the wildest billboards I have ever seen in my life. Not only is every other one some kind of like crazy anti-abortion, like really crazy anti-abortion one, but I saw one with Joe Biden dressed up like the Taliban. Yeah, it said, and it literally said, "Make the Taliban great again." And what else did I see? I the whole way down, I was like, Florida is wild, babe. Let's move here. So,
well, we were talking last night, and Jessica was talking about, oh, well, you know, all of my neighbors have the Gadsden flag hanging off their doors, and I'm like, at least 5 of my neighbors have the "fuck Joe Biden" flag hanging from theirs, and I'm like, Florida's a different place.
Yeah, things are different in Florida.
But what I was gonna say though is I don't know how Santa gets away with drinking eggnog, because as I was drinking it and we were listening to Steven's song, I was pouring it all over myself.
How?
His soup catcher.
It gets stuck in the mustache
Yeah.
and then drips down. But like usually, like thinner, less viscous liquids just go straight in and we're good. But not this, not this stuff.
Thick white stuff dribbling in Cam's beard.
There's a joke that I would make that is an inside joke that I won't make.
That's for the group chat alone. Yeah. Not likes.
That is the joke. I don't remember how it started either, but it's the joke. But we had talked previously about you maybe reading us a story. Are you down for that?
Yeah.
Let's do that, man, because you got a great voice. People tell me I have a good voice, and I'm like, have you listened to Perky?
Generally, people don't listen to me. I'm just kind of screaming in the void.
So am I. I thought, at least, until recently.
So where is this story? The night before Christmas?
Yeah, you can just Google it. It's there's the poetryfoundation.org has a copy of it.
Jessica's got it pulled up.
I didn't know if it's my favorite, so I'm so glad.
This is true, Quest. Drinking can be difficult with a beard.
All right.
And so can eating sandwiches. The weirdest things, like if you have a long mustache, eating a sandwich is like the worst.
Huh.
Dude, I'm constantly eating my fucking hair.
Yep.
When it was just a little bit longer, constantly eating it.
My wife doesn't like me to trim it, so I'm like trying to grow it to the point and like maybe get some wax to get it out of the way. But it's like well, I mean, I do a little bit of that a lot of times, but with the wax, it doesn't stay.
I had an Italian grandfather, and he would do the full curl.
That's gangster.
It's pretty dope. Yeah, I want that shit to come back.
All right, I'm ready.
Let's do it, buddy.
All right.
Snuggled up.
All right. I haven't been on the spot reading like this quite some time. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief, and I in my cap, had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. It's a lot of old-timey words. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave luster of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eyes did appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, with a little old driver so lively and quick. I knew in a moment he must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away all. As leaves that before the wind hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the courses they flew, when the sleigh's full of toys and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed in all He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opened his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose and giving a nod up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him explain ere he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all a good night."
Yay! That's my favorite. Thank you. No, you did so good.
See, Quest says good reading, and I agree. He also said that he's actually playing Santa using his own beard tomorrow at the Fido Bark the Herald Angels Sing event.
Oh,
that's pretty
okay.
cool.
And when I worked at a leather store for a while, and I met a lot of Santas because you can buy right. Well, that's the thing. Okay, so here's why. When you're building your Santa suit, you can buy a Santa belt, which is big and wide and has special. I feel like I'm doing a poem, like special markings and whatever they're called. I can't remember now. Stamps on it, or you can make your own. So you can either pay $300 for one, or you can make your own. And so I got a lot of Santas that came in to make their own pieces of their Santa suits. And one guy that came in was maybe 2 or 3 years older than me. And he was like, I met a guy who was Santa. And he had been doing it since he was 50. And he may be like 60-ish now. And he makes over $100,000 a year doing Santa during the last quarter of the year. And I was like, what? And he goes, yeah. He said, after you put in the time and really get your stuff in line, you get your contacts, you get networked in, you can make a lot of money being Santa. And it took him about 10 years to get to that point. He goes, I'm 30, I have the beard, I'm just going to do it. And I'm just going to bleach my beard out and do it. And since then, I've been like, why am I not a freaking Santa? Because I could rock that crap.
You do it. That's cool shit.
I can hoe with the best of them.
Well,
so, I mean,
you could probably also make a lot more in making because the people who make the furry suits, dude, they make like $15,000 a suit.
What?
Or some crazy number. There's some crazy number like that.
I quit. I've quit podcasting. I'm gonna go sew furry suits, guys. Bye.
Hey. Dude, but totally go be Santa. You got it.
I've thought about it. There are Santa schools. Like there are places you go to learn how to be Santa, how to bleach your beard, how to do all this stuff. And I've been like, I need to do this. I could probably pull off a good ho ho ho.
Yeah, let's hear it.
You want to hear my ho ho ho?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. So here, let me perform for you.
Just stretch your diaphragm. Oh, that's so good. That's really good, Cam.
That was tight.
Yeah. Holy shit. I'm going to find out how much it costs to send you to Santa school.
All right, we're starting to GoFundMe to send Cam to
Well, there's
Santa
one
school.
in Atlanta. And that's where I was when I learned this.
How much is Santa school?
I can't imagine it's much more expensive than clown college.
I was in Lake Placid, Florida this past weekend, and that is where the big clown college is at. And all over the town are these weird, like, clown paintings everywhere. Like, on the benches, there's like a cutout of a clown that you're supposed to sit next to. It's fucking weird, man. They're everywhere. Lake Placid, Florida is where the clown college is at. So if you can't make
that
it,
giant crocodile is though.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking the whole
that's the
time.
Betty
Every
White.
time
Yeah.
I think of the giant crocodile.
Right. So but it's Clown University. So if you don't have the grades to go to Clown University, you'll have to find a clown school instead.
You have to pass your GRE to get your clown masters. Or just run for office. I think that's enough to get you into clown college.
Dude, I would totally vote for a politician if under his resume he proudly put, I graduated clown college. Fuck yeah.
It's only $100 to go to Santa school.
Which one? The one in Atlanta?
There you go.
Hold on. The Charles W. Howard Santa Claus School. I don't know where this is at. We're gonna find out. If it's only $100 to send you to Santa school, you're going, buddy.
I have thought about it, and that's not a joke. I've legitimately thought about going to Santa school because I think it'd be awesome. I told my tattoo artist once I have money again, I'm getting a Santa tattoo. So get that art ready. Yeah, it's very reasonable. $100 is very reasonable to become a Santa. Very reasonable Santa college tuition. Yes.
What? Dude, $100.
Perky.
For the Charles W. Howard Santa Claus School, established in 1937. So this is
Well, I mean, you have being in my 30s, that there is a plus to just bleaching out my hair, in that my rosy cheeks and my youthful appearance work for Santa.
I just want you to know that being Santa is a privilege, not a job. So
do you know why they wear white gloves?
Seriously?
So they can kill people?
No, they wear the white gloves so that they're always visible in photographs, because people are afraid they're going to touch their kids, or they're afraid of the liability of being sued for touching kids. And so they wear the white gloves so that you can see where their hands are all the time.
That's dark.
That's insane.
This Christmas episode just got so
wow.
dark.
I'm just telling you, Santas have to deal with some stuff. I don't know if there were a bunch of bad Santas or just a
Mickey Mouse also wears white gloves.
Religious. That's true. That's to cover for his murders.
Yeah. That's why they're swollen. They're swollen with murder.
I wish my hands were swollen with murder, but alas. Well, Perky, thank you so much for joining us. We have a couple other people coming on. We need to have you back in the new year. I'm setting up. This is our last recorded episode for the year. So after this, we're not recording again until January.
Oh, cool.
So let's talk about coming back and talking about anything.
I promise not to have a bunch of cardboard boxes back there.
You can have anything you want. Yeah, anything you want. Just make sure that you get better. That's all I want.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for having me on, guys.
Thank
you for reading my favorite Christmas poem. That was really special. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And if anyone wants to find Perky, who's a good Twitter follow, and when he streams and makes videos, they're hilarious. Go on Twitter at Perky Biscuits. You'll find everything you need to get to him.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man. See you later.
Bye.
Wonderful. We
gotta check our fire. Is it still going?
Oh, it's doing great.
It's still going.
Yeah.
Fire's still going on. Awesome.
Okay. So buttons. Sorry, I got hammered at the Mexican restaurant before we started recording.
That sounds so white girl of you.
I had margaritas. I sent my food back.
You just keep saying white stuff. This is the best.
It's all true. They burned my chorizo. I can't eat burned chorizo, man. Come on. I might be drunk, but I'm not gonna eat.
You know what that makes me
chorizo.
think of? Did you ever watch the Johnny Knoxville movie where he played a retarded guy, The Ringer?
Oh, I just thought you meant Jackass, but yeah, okay.
No, he played a guy who was trying to grift the Special Olympics and make a lot of money by pretending to be retarded and
Look,
winning
it's
the
not
Special
like
Olympics.
it's not like the rest of us haven't thought of doing it before. So,
But there's this one point where this one Down syndrome guy, you said they burned my chorizo. It made me think of that guy going, "You scratched my CD. It wasn't scratched, but it's scratched now. You scratched my CD."
Yeah.
And so there you go. That's what it made me think of. You made me think of a retarded movie.
Great.
So let's get rid of this fire. It'll be here in a minute. We
Yes.
have another guest coming. We have several other guests coming, but we have the next one coming who I will let you introduce.
Oh, okay. The next guest is my wonderful BFF IRL friend, Britt. She's amazing and I love her. And we have this whole plan where we're going to get a golf cart and a bottle of champagne and drive around her neighborhood and be bitches. So I'm really excited about that. Hooray!
What's up, bitch?
Hi, guys. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Merry Christmas, Britt.
Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah.
I like.
So,
Oh, happy Hanukkah as well.
yeah, and I don't know if there's anything else going on because I just live in this bubble.
I do.
Hanukkah is exotic as I get. So.
Diwali was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
I told you how my neighbors were getting.
Yeah. Your town has a lot of people who celebrate Diwali, so
it does.
Yes. I won't say what town it is, but there are a lot of Diwali celebrators there.
There are. Hi, Quest.
Yes. Yay. I can't wait for our date where we drive around in a golf cart on Champagne.
Our date, our life.
Talk about everyone on Twitter. It's going to be great.
I know. It's not going to be a date. It's going to be a lifestyle. I keep telling you. It's who we are going to be. So
this is who we are now.
It's our divine providence, and this is how we will fulfill our destiny.
And then we're gonna go to the Mexican restaurant and send back our food.
And I can do that. I'm good at that.
Yeah.
All you have to do though is if you want to get your meal for free, is just before you walk into the restaurant, pick up a chicken bone and then put it into your food and say that it was there the whole time.
You know what? That won't be hard to find in Atlanta. So.
No, when Britt was moving to Atlanta, she was asking how different it would be than California. And someone on Twitter made the comment about there being poo in the road like there is in San Francisco. And I said, well, there's no poo in the road, but there is chicken bones. And so Britt got to Atlanta and sent me a text picture of a chicken bone on the street. It was like, I thought you were fucking around with me. And I'm like, no, that's a thing. There really are chicken bones everywhere.
It was the cleanest chicken bone I'd ever seen. And I don't think it was like an animal came by after. It was like, it was dropped clean as a whistle. Like you could serve more chicken off that chicken bone.
I found in the parking lot of a restaurant the other day a chicken bone right next to a pregnancy test. I said, something happened here.
Like, if you're sad, chicken bones. If you're celebrating chicken wings for good times, chicken wings for bad times.
Chicken wings always. My pastor used to say that he was Baptist, and he always said, you know, when Baptists get together, a chicken's got to die.
So my friend's dad always said, if you invite one Baptist on your fishing trip, they'll drink all your beer. If you invite two Baptists, no one will drink a drop.
No.
Yeah.
I get that one.
I was like, this is good. Good to know for the future. Sorry.
I can't tell you how many times I've been in like Walmart or what, like especially when I was in Birmingham, is I would walk into Walmart and I'd grab a 6-pack of beer, and without fail, anytime I picked up a 6-pack of beer, someone from the church would be there eyeballing me, and I was just like, maybe I should have been Catholic. Maybe
Yeah, you
maybe I
can.
made the wrong choice.
You should be Orthodox because we're allowed to drink and do. And in fact, I was instructed specifically only to drink with church people. So, because I get in trouble. So,
Ooh. So, how are you, Brett? It's been a hot minute since we've had you on, and since we've chatted beyond me subtweeting someone else and you being like, "Hey, that's me."
I always think it doesn't matter. You could be like, "This goes out to all the like Black Afro queer bitches," and I'd be like, "This is intimate." No.
and it would be.
Yeah.
It would be.
Legitimately about me this time. I know I can recognize these things. So,
Aww.
Twitter's a wild place where people
Yes.
argue constantly about things that they're not going to have any effect over whatsoever.
I actually I actually might have an effect over one of the things I was arguing about this week. So,
hey, that's something. That's something.
Yeah. Everybody was getting into the homeless conversation, and I was really frustrated about, the people kind of had the idea in Liberty Twitter that you either call the cops on homeless people, which I thought was I was like, that's a hell of a take. Or, you can just ignore them, or you can, I guess, shoot them off your porch if your porch is a park. I don't really know. But I was frustrated with the fact that nobody had said, like, maybe we should try and help them. In fact, not only when I said it did people not go, oh, yeah, maybe. They actively fought me and told me why we can't help the homeless. And so,
wow.
So
I did get a subtweet from that because I posted a Bible verse.
Yeah. I was like, yeah. So my response was immediately to set up a monthly donation to ACSS, which is Atlanta Center for Self-Sufficiency, which helps homeless people get rehomed and back on their feet, helps them find jobs and clothes because you need a shower and a place to go. So I would encourage anybody in, the Atlanta area, you can donate to them. They're great. Also, Sarah Higdon approached me because she is working with the city of Atlanta, the city council, to try and get a resolution together regarding helping the homeless, because there's a space that failed in Atlanta that won't be used. It's just open government space. It was supposed to be used for like a police town that kind of failed, like the police city, where they would just go and train in this fake city. It's empty. It's not being used. She feels that since the space is already paid for, and we know that the money is not going back to the taxpayers, that we could use this space to help rapidly rehome the homeless, not in this space, but a center to help them, give them an address, help them be self-sufficient again, and pool resources from all of the local charities where it's using a very minimal amount of government funds. So, all things work together for those who are called according to his purpose. That's kind of where I'm at in this situation. It didn't start out as a great conversation. I was really kind of disgusted, to be honest, with what I saw. And I know a lot of people are mad at me for saying that. So, I can only do what I think I can do. And I really felt called to just, if you're going to say these things, you have to actively be that person. Because we see a lot of people say a lot of things about what we should do or what we should be or how we should act or how the, private charity will take care of things. But private charity won't take care of anything if there is no private charity and nobody, wants to be involved in it. So that's my spiel. Hopefully I've guilted your audience into donating something to the homeless for the holidays.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing that I tweeted something. I tweeted a Bible verse, like I said, because I'm just like, why are we talking about what the government should or shouldn't do when this is, especially for Christians? I'm talking to Christians when I tweet Bible verses for the most part. When this is on us personally, either you're going to do something or you're not. I don't really see the point of the argument especially when it's mostly being had between people who are only going to tweet about it and nothing else is going to happen. Like, if you care about this, do something about it. Otherwise, you're just arguing with someone who could possibly be a friend.
Yeah.
I don't see the point.
Well,
And
also,
Christmas is about generosity. It's what it's all about, man. It's a good
There's-
point. Thank you for bringing it.
there's this entire attitude that, you know, the government shouldn't do this, the government shouldn't do that. Okay, but that means you should. And that doesn't mean people should, or this nebulous thing called the private market should. It means you should. And if you aren't willing to do it, then it's not going to get done. So everything that you think the government shouldn't do are things that you should actively be working at. So if you don't want the government giving people food stamps, you better be given to a food bank. You better be out there ladling soup at a soup kitchen. Okay, because otherwise it just means the ball gets dropped. And that can't be the case. So if it's between you not dropping the ball at all and the government doing it, well, you know, I'd rather people get fed than soothe your sensibilities, you know, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I would say to the people that are offended by my comments or offended by this at all, maybe that is something that you should kind of check in with yourself about, because I know for me, when somebody's saying like, what about this, a lot of times I'm like, when they say things, I almost find it laughable or absurd because it's just not true. But every once in a while I get really angry and I'm like, why am I so angry? It's like, oh, because I am hypocritical in that space.
Yeah.
And I don't want to call anyone out. This is supposed to be a fun show. I want everyone to like have a great time tonight.
We talked about Perky's bone wound, so I think you're cool.
You know what? I like the hat, by the way. I'm like, I'm gonna give it up for the Brixton hat. Like that's my, you know, like that's my jam right there. So.
But one thing you said you felt called to it, and I think that has been the big lesson for me this year, is when I feel called to move rather than to wait. And I think it's borne out. Like, I've actually been doing that. And so I do think that's an important thing to bring up, is you are called to different things. There are different things that you should be doing. And if you're not doing it, even if you're not Christian, you don't feel necessarily there's a call like we would. There are things that your conscience is telling you to do. And if you don't do them, sure, you may be hurting someone else or not providing something for someone else, but really you're just hurting yourself. So, because you know that's something you should do.
I know there are.
Go ahead. On just like a very like self-centered ideology part of this, if you're not, you know, a Christian, if you're not concerned with helping the homeless, just at a very basic self-centered level, if you don't want to be completely hypocritical as a libertarian or anarcho-capitalist, or, you know, just a person that doesn't want the police used in general, BLM, Antifa, I'm talking to you too. You guys can donate too. You calling the police only ends in two ways. It either ends with a homeless person in a cage, or a homeless person moved to another park, library, or city center. So it's not
the third option, which is so much worse.
Yeah, the third option is they don't come back from anywhere ever. And the issue is that as liberty-minded people, as Christians in general, as just people that want to have self-ownness, we have to look around and say, if we want this problem solved long term, what's the best thing to do? The best thing to do is figure out ways to help these people not be homeless anymore. And it doesn't include calling the police. It also doesn't include using the government to feed, house, and clothe them, because that doesn't seem to solve the problem. We throw billions of it. We throw, I think, almost $3 trillion a year overall in the country, probably more, you know, if you count all the different services, at homelessness, and it doesn't do much. Private charities that are much smaller and operate on a much smaller fund, they actually help people more because they look at it from a different standpoint. One, they understand the mentality of the homeless. that rapid rehoming is important before people's minds shift to a street living setting. And also, we're not, I hate to use these like 1980s, like Barbara Bush, like hand up instead of a handout kind of phrases, like bumper sticker phrases. But the truth is, giving somebody an address and giving somebody, you know, a place to keep up their hygiene and clothes for a job interview goes
Yeah.
so much further. Of course, you know, we have to feed people when they're hungry before they can get out and have, you know, the energy to even get a job. But these kind of things where when people can see hope, like when they can see like, oh, it doesn't matter, no matter how hard I try, I'm never going to get out of this situation. Of course they're going to give up. But if people are like, oh, I don't need to take and take and take from you, I can do this myself. Like when people have that in their, like when they are like, oh, I am capable. I do have the capability. I can do this. I can see a way out of this. I can work towards this. They almost every time they will work towards that goal. People just need a goal to work towards almost every time. It is a huge myth that the homeless are just a bunch of lazy drug addicts. It's a huge myth. I'm a lazy drug addict and I have a bigger household than most people. So that has nothing to do with it. So
Yeah, I think there is that myth sort of like, oh, well, I would give homeless person money, but I'm worried that they're going to go spend it on beer. I'm worried they're going to go spend it on drugs. And, you know, there are things that you can do that aren't necessarily just giving them cash either. I know a group at my church, they put together these toiletry bags that have like a toothbrush, mini toothpaste, you know, things to basically help people get their hygiene together, tampons, you know, anything that a person might need that they don't have easy access to in like a little Ziploc. And if they see a person who's on the street, they give them those things. So it's not necessarily like handing them a 20. Like there are ways if you are actually interested in helping people, don't make an excuse, like make a bag of toiletries. So the next time you see a person, you can give them something. And, you know, a lot of people, they actually do stick a 20 in those bags too. So.
And I think the last thing I'll say on this tonight is the biggest thing that you can do if you can't do anything else is when you encounter homeless people, treat them like you would treat other humans. These are not just like homeless people are individuals. They have different mindsets. They have different thoughts. They have different goals. They have different worries. They have different hopes and aspirations. They are people like me and you. You don't have to have a conversation. They don't have to be your best friend, but you can at least treat people with the exact same dignity as you would the person standing next to you in line at Starbucks or at the grocery store or somebody that you smile at on the street. It goes such a long way for somebody that is so often, so many times treated like they're no longer part of society, like they're no longer human, when somebody sees them and just is like, hey, how's it going? You know, how's your day? You know, whatever.
Yeah.
And I know that that can be dangerous or scary, and I'm not saying do it in every situation all the time, but you know, you'll know, a lot of it's, you can tell a lot of times.
Since you said something about, you know, Bush or Reagan slogans, I was thinking of one during that time. I was listening as well, but I was thinking, if you want people to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, you should probably give them some bootstraps to pull themselves up by.
Yeah, it's the truth. Yeah.
So I'm so excited to see you, though. It's been a while. So that was fun. But we did talk about you reading something for us for Christmas.
Yes. So I was originally going to read something else, but Jessica said, hey, if there's something meaningful to you. And what was most meaningful to me as a child and what is most meaningful to me still today, because it's such a rare thing to see just on TV. Like I'm still shocked when I see it. It's a Charlie Brown Christmas special. And Charlie Brown, through the whole special, he very much is trying to figure out like what Christmas is about. And they have the Christmas play at the end. And Charlie Brown is so frustrated. And he's like, can anyone tell me what Christmas is all about? And Linus is on the side of the stage with Charlie Brown. And he said, "Sure, Charlie Brown, I can tell you what Christmas is all about." And Linus walked out onto the stage, and in front of the audience, he read from the book of Luke. And there were in the same country shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flocks by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone around about them, and they were sore afraid. And the angel said unto them, "Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. And this shall be a sign unto you. Ye shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger." And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of heavenly hosts praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill towards men." And that, Charlie Brown, is what Christmas is all about.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, well, and it's that my dad would read that every Christmas Eve, and I read it every Christmas Eve now. Even it would have been nice if he could have kept reading it. We lost him a couple years ago, but I get to be the one in my family for my boys and for my girls who they get to hear that every Christmas Eve and come to know it by heart, because I can pretty much say it along with you as you're reading that. So I appreciate you bringing that to the table. In the next episode, we've already recorded it. I read it as well. And so people get it 2 weeks in a row, and it's the best. So I appreciate you bringing that.
Because it's what Christmas is all about, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Like all emotional.
I did too. It was really hard. I had to actually read it a couple times before so that I could calm myself, because I could not catch my breath before, because it's not just here. It's not on the internet. It's that, like, it's so weird to say this, but it's that you're seeing somebody talk about Jesus on TV. You're seeing somebody still say, and it's so simple. And he's like, sure, Charlie Brown, I can tell you what Christmas is all about. Like, he didn't need to use one of his own words. He didn't need to try and explain it in his own way. He didn't need to add in, the mistletoe or the fluff or the snow or the presents or it's, to me, the most poignant thing that I see every year. And it's a thing that makes me go, gosh darn it. Like, I just want to be near you. Like, I just want to be near you, Jesus. Like, I just want to be near you. And I hate getting all feelings about things, but it does. Like, I feel like we have so much talk about why Christmas is, Christmas is about this and Christmas is about that. And it's like, Christmas is about Jesus. Yeah. Like, Christmas is about this God, the start of God, like, saying, you know what? They can't keep these rules. They can't keep this law. Their hearts can't do this, but I could see there's so many that are trying and they want to. Like, Christmas is about bringing us the intermediary. That's what the gifts are about. The gifts are just a symbol of what the ultimate gift is, that, like, the intermediary was brought to us. So, yeah, I didn't think I'd get that emotional over it, but how can you not? Like, this is what everything is about.
It's lovely. It's so lovely. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So, sorry, I have a weird bone wound story.
No, it's good, and I'm glad you brought it, because otherwise I was going to read it.
No.
So I mean, I'm thrilled by it. One of the things that we did, I forgot to ask Perky before we, booted him off the stream.
Oh,
and moved on to you,
we'll get him next time.
Was the question that we ask in everyone. I'm pretty sure we've asked you this before. What right now gives you hope? What makes you keep going? What keeps you going on right now?
Wow.
What motivates you?
I mean, I've answered this question before. I think I just answered this question with my reading, but I think the idea that when I pray for God's will, God's still giving me the will to help and keep doing work with people, which means that there's still work to be done. And I don't know why that's comforting, because, it's kind of sometimes easy for Christians to be like, well, God's coming back, and we just have to sit and wait tight for Jesus to get back, but there's something comforting to me, and maybe it's because I have small children and I want to see them, grow up. I want to meet my grandchildren. There's something very selfish inside of me that when I pray, there's still work to be done, and I still have a heart to do that work. So that means God is still giving us hope. I also, I have a nephew that's going to be born, and I truly believe that every baby that is born is God saying to us that I still have not given up on all of you. And I mean, that's where I'm at in life right now. All of this stuff is starting to fall by the wayside. What else really is there? Is like, where else can I really even derive hope from? Right. I mean, besides the author of hope. So
it'll really shift things. I mean, that's been a big part of this year for me, and I know Jessica as well, is shifting into sometimes just goofy and fun things to talk about, but most of the time the important stuff. And so I mean, that's really kept us going. As we could be doing the same old thing, we could be doing the same thing as everyone else, but we don't have to. And there's something beautiful about that.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you very much for coming on, and we'll have to do it again.
Yeah.
Very soon. But I have this darn guy, this one-nutted man waiting, and he's been waiting this whole time because he's a podcaster too. So he was like, I'm going to be there the whole time just in case. He's a good man. So
he's a good man.
So I appreciate you coming on. Merry Christmas. Thank you for joining us.
Merry Christmas.
And if anyone wants to be offended by her tweets or see what she's up to in the way of making content, go to Twitter at @tweetsbybrit, and you'll be able to find all that stuff there.
Yeah.
So
do that. If you can, donate to ACSS, please. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, Britt.
Thank you. Bye. Let me check on that fire real quick. It's important. Let's see. It's still there. It's still going. We're good. We're doing well.
It's so nice.
I'm sweating, and it has nothing to do with me being in Florida. It's purely this fire. So now that we know that's good, we can transition on, because, like I said, our next guest has been waiting on us since just right after we started, because he's, like I said, he's a mensch. He goes,
he's a real,
hey,
true blue mensch.
You want me on at around 9:30? Let me be there at 8:30, just because I know how people are.
Yeah.
And I appreciate him for that. And so, with no further ado, let's welcome onto the show the Uniballer, the man who I mentioned earlier offhand and watched him laugh in the little screen below, the host of Rebel with a Cause, Mr. Eric Heiler. I'm saying that right.
Hey. Yeah. Got it right.
How you doing, buddy? Just sitting there waiting?
Doing okay. What's that?
Good. I said you're just sitting there listening to us, waiting.
Yeah, I was playing guitar, played bass a little bit while I was waiting.
Oh,
so
nice.
Yeah.
I said, when Cam told me that you said you were going to be there early and hang out just in case, I said, that's how you know this man is a podcaster, because he knows how it goes. And yeah, that's much obliged.
Oh yeah, not a problem at all, because I know how these things go. People run long, people run short, so you never know.
Well, what's good is you were on our first episode as the Mad Ones, but Jessica wasn't.
Yeah,
that's right.
Now we're making this happen. We're making up for it.
Making up for lost time.
Christmas is the time of redemption, and so I am being redeemed from missing the very first inaugural episode of my own podcast.
Yeah.
But
she had better things to do.
Yeah, no. I seriously, my friend had just had her baby, and I went and stayed with her while she was transitioning back to work, because she had a toddler and then a newborn on top of it. So it just rough. Yeah, it ended up coinciding at a weird time, and so I appreciate you filling in for me while I was helping fill in another capacity. And so you contributed to helping Danielle with her newborn as well. And so I'm sure she appreciates it.
Yes, she may not know my name, know my face, but you're welcome.
Yeah.
So how are you doing? How's the last almost year been since we talked on the show? I mean, we've interacted on Twitter, but
psychotic is a word.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just been completely crazy, and the events of the last 20 months have just broken everybody's brains, and we've just lost all reason and logic, and can't think for ourselves anymore. So we need a Mr. Man on TV to tell us what to do, and it drives me nuts.
Could they choose a less inspiring man to do it?
Yeah, a short little Italian man that sounds like he smoked every pack of cigarettes since 1987. You know?
One of the things, though, is since last night, since you came on the show, I actually met you in person. So I've met you, but I've never met Jessica in person.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
We drove through Cam's town twice, but once he wasn't there because he was taking his family, and then the other time it was like 7 o'clock in the morning, and I thought, no, I'm not gonna do that to him. Yeah.
7 a.m. Cam's up. He's got 19 children. Yeah. So.
No, those are the hours that I shove them off on the woman and try my best to stay asleep as long as I can and fail miserably.
Of course.
But alas.
Yeah. Yeah, my weekends are usually spent like shooing a little 5-year-old girl and dog off of me in the morning. It's like give me just 20 more minutes. Just 20.
Yeah.
That's all I ask for.
So my dad, when we were little, he always used to make us a big breakfast on Sunday. And I think he did that so that he would just have time by himself in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And all the kids would be off somewhere else.
I can totally relate with that. Yeah.
Right,
I get that. Yeah. It's like, let me just be in the kitchen for about an hour. I'm cooking stuff.
Right. And he would make everything, every breakfast food you've ever heard of, he would make it and then some. So there'd just be piles of it. So now as an adult, I'm 38 years old and I wake up Sunday morning and I'm like, how come there's no pancakes? Like, it really, really spoiled me.
Oh, they made me do a ho ho ho, and I feel like I need to hear yours.
A ho ho ho. Okay, hold on.
Yep.
Gotta clear the old throat. Ready?
The diaphragm.
Ho 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 ho! There we go.
Oh, that was good. That was a good one.
Now do a ho 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 with a little Alex Jones right before.
Now, I'm a little retarded, so.
Oh my god, that's really good. I feel like if Alex ever had to, like, I don't know, spend some time in jail or, the hospital or whatever it was, he could hire you to come on,
Yeah, just be the substitute for an episode. Yeah.
They're going to get him on
Tried to do
something.
one of those.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll get him on something eventually, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well,
About once a month.
That lawsuit with the Sandy Hook thing, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yes, he did. He's now having to pay damages and everything else. Because they hit it to him. There was other radio hosts at the time that were going even further than him, and you notice how they weren't brought up because his show was bigger. So
yeah, that's the thing. When they're chopping off heads, if your head is below another head, you usually make it. And I've been through several corporate takeovers at companies, and being a low man on a totem pole has its perks sometimes. I'm like, I'm the receptionist. I'm not worried about shit.
Yeah. It's like, look, I'm just here to answer the phones and maybe type up a letter. Yeah.
They need me right now.
Yeah. I am the bottom of the funnel, and you can't operate without me. Yeah, I got you.
Oh, you're a CFO, are you?
Bye, bitch. So, you excited about Christmas now, or are you still grinching it over there?
I still grinch it over here. People get me wrong all the time. I love Christmas, but it's usually just like the morning of, and then by the afternoon, I am like now in cleanup mode. So, yeah, I get in that Christmas spirit like about 6 a.m. when all the kids are up opening up presents, and then it just quickly dies away after that. So.
But you still get it, though, right?
Yes, I still get it.
Okay, good.
It's just the day after Thanksgiving, Christmas is not what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Day after Halloween is when to start.
Yeah, day after Halloween, definitely not thinking about it. In fact, I get mad. I get so mad. Start seeing the Christmas stuff being pulled out at Walmart, and I'm like, ugh, firebomb in Minecraft.
In Minecraft.
And I'm just there like,
Yeah.
every year. I do the same troll. I've done it for like 6 or 7 years now, where I go on and I say Merry Christmas every day, starting the day after Halloween. Every year, the same people take the bait. Without fail.
Don't take the bait. Don't feed the trolls.
You're feeding me. This is why I still do it.
Yeah.
I was telling someone,
just
I
give
was
you
like,
the little wink, and touch your nose, and you're like, okay, I know what you're doing.
Cam, I said my friend Cam really loves Christmas, like aggressively loves Christmas.
Yeah.
They're like, how do you
Not as
aggressively love
aggressive
Christmas?
as Nick Picone, who will be joining us a little bit later.
Oh,
Yeah, Nicky P, he's definitely pro-Christmas.
Christmas tree all year round.
Yeah, he is definitely
Oh.
pro-Christmas. Yeah, he's pretty out
Excellent.
there.
well, Lizzie is very good to put up with that then.
She's good to put up a lot of stuff, so.
Yeah, God bless you, Lizzie. We love you. She's one of the real ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
So do you have a story for us?
I do. From my ancient homeland of Germany. In German, everybody is, by the book. Everything has to be followed. You have a rule book. You have to follow the rule book. Any deviation of the rule book, and you might as well have murdered your mother. So, the Germans have come up with a goat man type person by the name of Krampus. And every December 5th, so that's a couple of nights from now, they have Krampusnacht, where a goat man-like figure will go find out the little naughty boys and girls and capture them to go take them by the river and beat them with a birch stick for being so naughty.
That's horrifying.
Oh, wait until
Wonderful.
you see the pictures of Krampus.
Just wait
He's
one
a demon goat man. He's often depicted with chains. And they have a Krampus run every year in Austria where everyone has to outdo each other's Krampus costumes. So try to imagine like 100 demons running down the street.
Wow, settle down, Germany. What the fuck?
Here we go. Here's a nice picture of Krampus.
Yes.
An old painting of Krampus.
Right there.
Oh my god!
Yeah, you got to stuff him into a bag, take him down to the river. See, yeah, he's got the chains in this one, and you got to beat him with the stick for being naughty little boys and girls.
Look at that tongue. Like, I don't know. I wonder what he's doing in his off time.
I do want to point out in this picture that he has two types of feet here.
Yeah, he has
a
one
hoof.
human foot and one goat hoof. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets really fun. Like some of those Krampus cards, or Krampus Karten, as they would call it. There's like one where he's like pulling a little boy's face apart.
So I noticed there are two children in that picture, and one of them looks completely nonplussed about it. She's like, "Yeah, get my piece of shit brother out of here."
It's like he knows what he did. He knows what he did. He didn't shine his shoes in the manner that Papa would appreciate. We get to beat him with a stick.
He just beats him with a stick, and then he brings him back. Is that the deal?
Well, yes. Santa Claus, Santa Claus would then rescue the children and bring them back. So
that's
they work together.
The thing that Dwight, from The Office.
Yes.
He does Belschnickel.
Yeah, Belschnickel, which is kind of based on the same thing.
So is the side character in blackface actually part of the legend, or is that something they made up for The Office?
I think that's something they made up for The Office.
Okay.
I did look it up. There is supposed to be a real Black Peter who was a slave boy.
Oh my god. So Netflix cut that out. So there is, in the original Office, it shows his Dwight's assistant, I can't remember what the name of the character was, is walking up to the Nate? Yeah, okay, so he's walking up to the office to the parking lot dressed as this character in blackface, and because Stanley is like, "No, Dwight, no." He you see him texting, and then you see Nate turn around and get back in the car. But Netflix actually cut out the part with Nate. It just shows Dwight texting. It doesn't show Nate anymore. So
Aww.
Another.
That's why
another
when I
victim
found
of
out
woke
they were
culture.
doing that, I just downloaded all of them so that I had
Yeah.
a copy with it.
I watch The Office on your Plex now all the time because that's actually my go to sleep show. So if
I
it
also
ever
have Community for similar reasons because they took the when Chang dressed up in as a night elf.
Yeah, so there's Krampus and Saint Nick working together.
oh wow, they're like in partnership here.
Oh yeah.
Weird. God. German Christmas is dark.
Yeah.
Gotta love a German Christmas.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Pretty wild.
Yeah.
And just
But
all
no,
that
like-
for not following the rules. So,
I
But they did.
complain about.
They removed Chang from the Dungeons and Dragons episode because he was dressed as a night elf and his face was.
That's right, he had
took it as
blackface, yeah.
blackface.
But it's blackface of a species that doesn't exist.
yeah, it's a dark elf, and he had white hair too. So
I call BS on this one. Come on, Netflix.
No,
what the heck?
yeah, it's legit. They took it off of Hulu as well because I remember that episode, and I was like, "And here comes the night," and I was like, "What? No,
But night elves aren't real.
that's right.
They're not real.
They're not real."
Oh my god. Oh wow. You know, I complain about Elf on a Shelf. I find the Elf on a Shelf thing kind of creepy. And
that's just
compared
NSA training for little kids. That's all that is.
I'm saying. But compared to Krampus, I don't think the Elf on the Shelf is that dark anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
compared to a literal demon that kidnaps you from your bed while you're sleeping, puts you in a sack, takes you all the way to a river, and then beats you with
your ass.
reeds. Yeah.
Right.
That's terrible and frightening.
It's aggressively German too.
Yes, it's like the most German Central European thing you could think of.
Why? So does this come from like an ancient Germanic thing that kind of got intermingled with Christianity?
They don't really know exactly where the legend of Krampus came from. But the only thing that they could figure is maybe it was some kind of paganistic ritual that if you're naughty, this is how the parents get the kids good behavior throughout the year. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, this goat man's going to come out of the woods and and drown you in a river if you're bad.
Terrible. You know what? I'd be cleaning my room if I were you kids.
That's right.
Because you don't want the Krampus, the Belschnickel, to come get you.
Yeah, we definitely don't need Belschnickel.
Belschnickel's the best.
Yeah.
Oh, who was it on Twitter that came up with that phrase, the office is neoliberal propaganda? It's like the most perfect phrase
What?
ever.
Why can't they just let things be enjoyable? I enjoy The Office.
Oh yeah, it's a great show. If you want to cringe, like halfway through.
Aw, no. Why?
Or look forward to every episode with Jan, because Melora Hardin, Jesus.
Oh, so
The
now we
dinner
find
party
out.
episode.
Yes, the dinner party episode. His HD TV was like 10 inches.
Yeah, that's right.
my TV.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
In Spain, they don't eat it until midnight. Yeah.
I like when she's like to the side with the camera and she's like, I know Jan didn't poison my food. I know that. But if she was gonna poison somebody's food, don't you think it would be me?
Right.
Like,
Good old
I am
Pam
channeling.
Beasley.
Yeah, I'm channeling Pam a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, we use her GIF reaction all the time. The yup. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Well, I also failed art school, so I kind of relate to Pam in my heart.
Hey, she redeemed herself. She did the mural in the warehouse.
That's right. That's right. She did.
So, what are your Christmas traditions?
My Christmas traditions. Okay, so Christmas Eve, a lot of the times we will go out to the rich neighborhood to go look at their Christmas lights on the houses. And of course, and you're spilling eggnog, like
I'm
all
telling
over
you,
yourself.
it's hard as hell. You don't have a beer
He
if you
needs
want to
it.
drink eggnog.
He needs it.
So yeah, that's one of the traditions. But it also gave somebody time to go put presents under the tree before we all left. So
So.
yes, another Christmas Eve tradition that we have is hot dogs and tamales. Because if you do the thing once, you have to do it every year after that.
Oh no, yeah, that's true.
Are you filling the tamales with hot dogs?
No. You do hot
Okay.
dogs in one slow cooker, and then you do the tamales in the other. Yeah.
Okay. I feel better. Thank you.
Yeah, that
I
all
just
stems
don't-
from just people being broke in the 1980s, and then you have to come up with something to do on Christmas Eve, and that's it.
It's fair enough. I know that when I'm cooking Thanksgiving dinner, you're pretty much not eating anything on Wednesday. Like, you're on your own. You need to go find your own food. I don't care if you have to go kill a squirrel and roast it over a fire. I'm busy. Sorry.
Yeah, speaking of small woodland creatures, my dog happened to catch a rabbit last night. That was fun.
Oh.
Yeah, she's very good at it.
I heard this story.
Yeah, this happened just the other night, and she mangled the rabbit to the point where she broke its back and didn't kill it.
Oh.
Yeah, so she comes and brings me the rabbit, just sets it down after I tell her to leave it, and I notice, I was like, okay, she's killed this rabbit. Then I see the rabbit like pick its head up and like look at me all dazed and everything. I'm like going, oh shit. So pull out the sidearm and go to dispatch the rabbit to end its suffering, and that was when the kids walked out and saw me put a bullet through its head, and that was a fun conversation afterwards.
Oh my god. They're
Yeah.
going to talk about that with their therapist.
Exactly. And then one time, then my son was like, "Can we eat it?" And I was like, "No, the dog mangled it too much. We can't kill it."
If the
That
guts
isn't the
are...
last thing you shot, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
The kids can't eat that for Christmas either.
No. Maybe next
No.
year I will actually catch one of the rabbits out there and just like serve it to them, see what they think.
Oh my god. I mean, at least you did what you had to do instead of, you can't let it suffer,
That's true.
It's an
That's
act of
true.
mercy.
It is.
Oh my God.
It is. And the last time that she got a rabbit out in the yard, she disemboweled it and then came inside and immediately threw up the gut pile in the living room. So that was fun.
Well, that's better than her, eating it and then getting some kind of parasite. You probably don't want to eat those rabbits unless you absolutely have to, because they are riddled with parasites. So it's not, good eating or anything like that,
Yeah, especially in the
nice
winter
fat
months because
pet
they're
store
little
rabbit.
skinny and, yeah.
Yeah. And sad to say it, but a nice fat pet store rabbit that's had all its antibiotics and shots and is well fed and fat, that's gonna be a good eating rabbit. Just throwing it out
Right.
there.
Yeah, a little bit different story if I was keeping the rabbits, because then you're controlling what food they're eating and everything else. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Now my dog has had a similar instance where it found a little nest of baby rabbits.
Yeah.
And one of them had not quite been dispatched all the way. And so I was telling my husband, you've got to go out there and, do it. And he's like, how? And I'm like, I don't know. Pick up a rock. Figure it out. So by the time he got out there, it had actually died of shock or whatever. But
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Merry Christmas to everybody.
Merry Christmas. Oh,
Yeah.
one thing I forgot to mention is as of today, we have 2 new patrons.
That's
And
right.
I need to shout them out. I need to shout out both Andy
Shout
and
them out.
Noah.
No,
for
no,
joining-
shout. Not
shout.
shoot, Eric.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
shoot.
Yeah, don't
Right.
do that. We're not
Okay.
doing that today. But yeah, no, I do need to shout Noah and Andy out
trigger
for
finger is
joining
itchy.
us on our Patreon. We love you. And also, Andy, thank you for buying a mug.
Yeah, I hope you guys aren't vegetarians and horrified by the context of our conversation. Yeah. Goodness gracious.
Quest said Jessica eyes neighbor's pet. I think she's eyeing the neighbor.
I would eat
You
the
know anything
neighbor
about
before I would
Jessica?
eat the dogs.
Oh,
I'm
here we
serious.
go. Alex Jones all over again. I will eat my neighbor's ass. Yeah.
Well, I know where he's coming from on that. I don't know. Dogs are pure of heart and soul, and I think I would have an easier time with a human being than I would a dog. I have so much more love for dogs than I do my fellow man.
So just remember, if you're inviting
Like, they don't
Jessica
know.
over after the apocalypse, you have to do the Book of Eli check, where she has to hold out her hands, and if they start shaking, you know that she's had the humans.
I'm not gonna kill you to eat you, but if you die, if we're in an alive situation and you die before me, I'm definitely gonna eat you. I'm not past it. At least I'm honest with who I am. Any person in a starving situation, if there's meat around, you're gonna eat it.
Yeah.
Read about the Donner Party. You're all cannibals. You don't know it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, wasn't the
not
Donner Party
cannibal.
like really just a bad rap from one guy?
Yeah. A lot of them didn't do that, and
Yeah, they were eating shoe leather and stuff.
Yeah, it was a testament to human survival, and there's actually a lot of like really romantic stories in that situation too. Like this husband who tried 3 times to get up a mountain to get to his wife and children. Each time he failed, he would go back in town, raise money all over again, raise a crew all over again. This guy just would not give up to get back to his wife, and it was like a really romantic story. But the only thing anybody talks about is this one ghoulish guy who squirreled himself away in a cave and ate people. So it's, it's a compelling part of the story. But it's actually
well, because he turned into a Wendigo, and that's what happens.
He did. Yeah. You get powers when you eat other people. You get their power. That's like
if the movie Ravenous is to be believed.
Oh, that movie's so awesome. Cam, did you see Ravenous?
I did. I saw all the movies.
Oh, it was so good.
But did you watch 366 of them?
Yes. On the cob. I'm ready. I will eat your ass. Your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat you. I will eat your ass.
You gotta laugh every single time it's played.
Cam's got that on a button that he just pushes whenever we talk
he's
about
got the
cannibalism.
stream deck ready, and there's actually a button that just Alex Jones, I will eat your ass. And...
I will eat your ass.
Well, the only other video that I have that's ready to play at any point in time is the Strong Opinion song.
Yes.
But Ryan's not here, but I'm going to play it.
Hey,
for
but he
Christmas.
deserves to be here.
He deserves to be here. So
let's bring
I'm
in
gonna play
Ryan.
the song.
He's got strong opinions. He's got strong opinions. He's got strong opinions. Which one will he give?
It's made my Christmas so
Masterpiece.
happy.
Yeah, the latest strong opinion that I have is there is no brown, there is only orange.
That's not false.
That's
not
not false
false.
at all.
You're not wrong.
Jessica's trying to put it together.
I am.
Your hair,
I'm that.
not brown. It is orange.
I'm that meme with that chick who looks like and she's got the mask
the
all
Spanish
around her.
soap star. Yeah,
Right, and it's not Julia Roberts, but it looks just enough like her.
yeah.
Yeah.
Quest wants to know what a Wendigo is. This
Ah,
is
that's-
this
Wendigo?
episode, so obviously we need to answer this question.
Yeah,
This
so
is
the
my-
Wendigo. Oh, you
Oh, go
have
ahead.
the knowledge.
Oh,
Go
I
for
was
it.
gonna say this is my this is kind of my wheelhouse since I'm
Go for
the potential cannibal. The Wendigo is a legend about when humans eat the flesh of other humans, they become craven and sort of take on some qualities of a beast-like creature. And so the idea forwarded in a lot of like cannibal stories is that you gain the power of your enemies if you eat them. And so the cannibal will become strong and virile and, but he will then forever crave the flesh of other human beings. And then he must feed. So he becomes a slave to the Wendigo.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the only way to stop being a Wendigo is to kill the head Wendigo. No, wait, that's
Are we
werewolf.
mixing vampires and werewolves?
We're
Yeah.
mixing in werewolves. Yeah, I don't know. Robert Carlyle. You have to kill Robert Carlyle to stop the Wendigo curse.
You gotta.
Yeah.
You gotta do that anyway. I mean, maybe
knows
we
what's
could
coming.
Alec.
Who's the other guy in that movie?
uh,
Guy Pearce. I think
Guy
Pearce.
Pearce.
Was in it. Yeah.
That movie was so good. It was
If you need someone to die, though, you call Alec Baldwin.
Yeah. He will kill them dead and then blame it on a bad trigger.
he said he didn't pull the trigger the same way that Bill Clinton said he did not have sex with that woman. Like it was the same.
Did not inhale.
I did not pull the trigger on that
Yeah.
woman.
And then started crying.
Like-
Yeah.
And then you're like, what? You definitely did. Like, I've seen this movie.
Good
And
night,
so-
Quest.
Oh, Good Night Quest.
Yes.
It's
Good
not
night, Quest.
encephalitis. It's
No.
not encephalitis. No.
No. And now he's going to have pleasant dreams of Krampus and Wendigo dancing
Yeah.
in his head. Yeah.
So there was a cannibal. I'm kind of fascinated by cannibals. That's why there's this running joke that I am one. I'm not. I would never eat a person. But
Not yet.
not yet. But there's this cannibal in France, and he was like a known cannibal. And when he died, they dissected him because they wanted to see, like, are you actually made more virile? Like, are your organs stronger? Are your
Is there
bones
some
stronger?
kind of change to the human condition?
Is there a
afterwards?
change to the human condition? Right. So they dissected him, and they found that his muscles were riddled with boils, and there were cysts everywhere. It's not so. Mad cow comes from when they feed cow to other cow. It's
Right.
prion disease. So, like, when you eat the brain of another human or you eat organs of a human being, you can get prion disease. And so it's really not good for you to eat human flesh. Like, that is an emergency situation only kind of thing to do.
Once type of thing, and never do it again afterwards.
And you don't tell anybody you did it because you're not going to get invited to the Christmas party after that.
Unless you have a podcast. Then you
unless you have a
vaguely
podcast.
talk about cannibalism occasionally and say that you're not one.
Bye, Quest. We love you. Merry Christmas. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
He's our buddy. We love him. Honestly, though, if we heard of a cannibal that had like a TikTok or something, I would totally try to get him on the show. I'm not gonna lie, because I would want to ask him some questions. It would be a him. You know.
Yeah, it would just have to be.
Right.
Unless it was a female mortician. I could very easily see that happen.
And what? She's just looking down and she's like, "Ooh, the thigh."
It makes me think of the episode of It's Always Sunny when they wanted to eat a guy. And they argued about whether or not it was racist to eat the black guy or not eat the black guy, which was more racist.
She said, she goes, I prefer the white meat. I always have. Oh my god,
this,
yeah.
Like, brings me back to like discussions we had in high school. It's like, what do you think white people taste like? And we're all like, chicken and macaroni and cheese.
Unseasoned chicken.
Oh, eating the placenta, that is like a weird tradition.
It's auto cannibalism.
Yeah.
Because it's your own placenta.
Yep.
Yeah, there's some traditions where they serve the placenta to the father too. That's weird.
Is eating your own boogers cannibalism at that point? Because you're eating.
Doesn't have to be meat.
I mean, I would think so. I mean,
biting
so
your nails and like getting the skin off around your nails, probably.
Right.
Yeah.
So in that vein, placenta, it's like blood, right? It's not. Is it like flesh?
Yeah, that's actually fleshy.
Oh, it is fleshy. Yeah. Okay.
Here I am mansplaining the woman's anatomy.
I don't know. I've never had kids. I mean, if you've got kids, you might know better than me. A placenta?
Yeah. Gross.
Is it like? Yeah, I bet. No, I've seen a video where they're like cutting it up and then like throwing it in a pan. And I have to be honest, pretty much anything sautéed in butter and garlic, I'm gonna
throw
try.
some bacon on it.
I mean.
But speaking of cannibalism, did you? We've talked about different cannibals in the past, but did we ever talk about the Japanese man who he was like 22 years old and he cooked his own genitals and served them to party guests who paid for it?
What?
No.
Yeah.
That's a new one on me.
It says they paid about 160 pounds each for the meal. And so, yeah, they got a little man meat, and apparently he was asexual, so it's totally fine that he garnished his genitals with mushrooms and parsley.
Dude, that's $213. It's $213 American dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if everybody knows what's going on and everybody's consenting, I don't really see a problem.
Now we're getting into libertarian arguments.
I'm just saying if everybody knows what's going on, it's like if you served human flesh to somebody unwittingly, that would be like a really effed up thing to do. But if like people showed up who were interested in eating human meat, and
this isn't human meat though. It's human man meat.
Was he singing the chef song? Ooh, suck on my chocolate salty balls. Yeah.
How many guests? Did it say how many guests?
I closed it, but I want to say 6.
Okay.
So, all right.
So he made
You know, about
like
$1,200
$1,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
Little
Not
over.
worth it. Not worth it.
He's not using them. He's not
He said he was
using
asexual.
I mean, he does pee though, and now he has what's he
pee
got?
is stored at the balls.
Yes, pee is
Yes.
definitely stored
No,
in the
I'm
balls.
talking about the mechanism of using the restroom rather than where the pee is stored, which is clearly.
Do
the
you
balls.
need Do you need the balls for that?
That's why.
Imagine
Eric has
explaining that
stop.
to the GP the next time you see him. It's like,
So are you
sir?
Are you like half a stream because
No.
of your situation?
I've got a full stream going.
All right.
Which I had to have another surgery for that. That's a show for a different day.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, no, I hadn't heard of this, but I do know of another guy who so it's a fetish thing too. And that's why I think that if like cannibals tend to be men, because I think a lot of it has to do with fetish stuff.
Yeah, I mean there was that guy in Canada
Yeah.
who like contracted somebody.
Well, there was
Yeah,
a guy in
yeah,
Germany, Armin Mavis,
Yeah.
that did that.
Like got a guy to come over and like
Hey,
peppered him up.
buddy.
yeah. It's like
I don't
a
get it, and I don't want it. So Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Who needs a ham?
I find this
Yeah.
I just find it
Just
fascinating.
eat what the North Koreans call long pork.
Yeah. The long pig. Yeah.
I want to make a joke here, but I won't. I will save that joke for not on the air.
I will remind you.
Save that for the next Tom Woods 3000. You know, there you go.
Tom Woods 3000 in what, 4 years?
Something like that.
That's what happened to the guy that lost his mind and started screaming. They took him off the stage and they cooked him up and ate him. That happened for real.
Could be.
Real story, true story.
Yep. There was
How
a
wild
guy
was
yelling
that,
and
though?
everything. Oh, the Tom Woods 2000? Oh, man.
Yeah.
The real party was happening just outside the doors to the ballroom, and we were all out there in the hallway. Yeah, so shout out to Liberty Thought, who knocked over my scotch and soda out of my hands within like 5 minutes of meeting her. It was so fun. That whole hallway was just insane.
So my husband was looking at pictures of the event and he goes, "Who's this Liberty Thought?" And I'm like, "Don't be mean." And he's like, "No, that's legitimately what she calls herself." It's like, "Oh, yeah, I don't know."
No, that's her name on Twitter. And
Okay.
she is taller than me. I think she's actually like 6'2".
But I
Yeah, 'cause
thought
you're not a small fella.
No, I'm 6'1", and like people don't believe it, and then they meet me like, "Oh, you're a big fella."
People are always like, "Wow, you look exactly about as tall as I thought you'd be."
You were a lot taller than I thought you would be.
What?
Interesting.
I don't know what it is. I was like, for sure you were like 5'6".
You thought I was a dwarf.
Yeah.
You're racist.
Well,
You're racist.
technically,
you're
it's like a
racist
different
bearded men.
species, right? So speciesist.
Well, they're different
no
race, technically.
Yeah.
No matter how many times I tell people that I'm 4'11", like I don't make a secret of it. When they meet me, they're like, "Oh my god, you're really short." I'm like, "I told you about this." I guess just, a lot of personality. They don't expect it to be like in this tiny little
Yeah,
package.
it's also this frame right here. A lot of people don't get
Yeah.
like a scale reference.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So
But I am
I
tiny.
look smaller than I am. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Usually they just go, "Yeah, I pegged you at about 5'11".
Yeah, they just pegged you. Yeah.
They just pegged you.
No, that's only for my wife.
Wow. Merry Christmas.
So I don't think Nick's gonna come.
Oh,
Well, that's not what I meant.
you need
Not
it.
that way.
Nick, we need you
probably
to
will.
come.
Need it.
We need it.
Need it.
Yes, it's just like that movie Come to Live. So
Yeah. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on. Guys.
I always think it's funny in like a group chat or on Twitter when I make a joke that I think is obvious, and then someone is like, "Oh, that's wrong," and I'm like, "Yeah, that was the joke, buddy."
yeah,
Yeah, like what was the thing that happened the other day? Oh no, someone said, "What if they recast Star Wars as with black characters?" And I said, "Oh yeah, dude. What they could do is they could make Darth Vader black. They could give him a black voice. have a
Yes.
black actor do his voice, and you know that the joke is James Earl Jones is a
Yeah.
black man, but
Yeah.
someone was like James Earl Jones is black, retard, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
yeah.
They're like, yeah, I'd really like to see Mace Windu played by a black guy. That would really.
Well, no,
like,
in the black version, it would be a white guy.
Yeah,
It's
Hayden
true.
Christensen.
You just got to go complete 180. Yeah.
Either
It would
Hayden
be
Christensen
the
or
white
better
guy.
Yet, what's the guy's name? He was in Knight Rider. David
Hasselhoff?
Yeah.
Ah, for a Mace
That's
Windu
Mace
character?
Windu?
Well, yeah, because
No, you got to do Bob Odenkirk.
no, because David Hasselhoff was Nick Fury before Samuel L. Jackson was.
That's right. That's right.
Oh,
Yeah, that was a.
I-
When did that movie come out? It was like 2000 or 1999?
Oh, it was so long ago. I don't even
Yeah.
know.
I
I'm
had that
excited
leather
about
getup and
Spider-Man. I'm excited about Spider-Man No Way Home, and no one can crap on that. It's going to be good, and if it's not, I'm going to be mad.
All right. Can I spoil like 95% of the movie for you?
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I already have been. I know.
Because I'm not gonna see
Okay.
it.
You're not going to see it?
No, I'm just tired of superhero movies. Done.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, it just has all the other Spider-Men from, the
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield, and the original Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire.
Okay.
Tobey Maguire dies.
Good.
I really
Okay.
liked that fan theory, though, that one day they do flashbacks of Uncle Ben, and it would be Tobey Maguire playing Uncle Ben.
That would be kind of funny. That would be kind of funny.
Because he's old now.
Yes. Funny story.
Yeah.
Me and Tobey Maguire actually have the same birthday, June 27th.
Oh.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. I think he's actually a couple years older than I am.
Funny story.
Wow.
I hate Sean Astin.
Really?
Never
We've
forget.
never heard this story before.
Never forget.
How old is Toby? Keith. No, wrong Toby.
Yeah,
Toby-
different Toby altogether. Stick a
Toby.
boot in your ass. It's the American way. Oh, God.
Toby McGuire.
Yes.
Toby Keith.
No,
Okay,
not
so
Keith.
Toby Maguire is 46.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
older than I am.
He's still got a weird baby face. It's kind of weird when like baby face guys get old.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's so
then they
weird when
look
babyface guys get old.
Strange. Yeah.
I'll be an old baby-faced guy someday, but I have a
But
beard.
you got a
so I'm
beard.
Santa Claus.
Right
That's all right.
here. Old babyface.
Yeah. Oh dear.
I don't think Nick's gonna make it.
No.
He's not going to make it.
He's
Can't
not
pull it
gonna
off
make
with his equipment.
He's not gonna make. Well, I haven't heard from him, and I don't see him in the little box down below. So it's like
Yeah. I'm taking your spot, buddy. You got bumped.
you got bumped. This is why Eric came and was here for the whole time.
That's right.
Right. That's right.
I mean, I was just playing Shizm on the bass, and it was just waiting my turn.
Did you? So since he's not here, did you read the new Expanse book already?
I haven't read any of the Expanse books. I've only watched the
Okay.
TV series. Yeah.
Because apparently the last Expanse book came out, and I was like, maybe this is something that those two would like to join and talk about for a minute. But no, Nick doesn't
just a
show
little
up.
bit. No. We haven't talked about it for a minute either, so it's all good.
Toby
So
Maguire.
I guess that means we are coming to an end. So let me ask you our question. Did we ask you that on the first episode, the hope question?
I don't remember if you did or didn't, but I probably got a different answer now.
Okay.
'Cause what was that,
Well,
like a year ago?
Yeah.
It was like February or something. Getting close.
February. Yeah.
So that's like 6 years ago. By
Yeah.
COVID time.
Yeah. Because Tiger King was 20 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're aging in dog years ever since COVID hit. That's been the effect, is that time
Yeah.
has sped up.
Well, that's like a legit thing. Ever since CERN came online, Earth has actually been spinning faster.
See, I knew that shit was going to have... Once they got it dialed up to 11, it was going to be a problem.
Don't
said
freak
it
out,
since the
folks. It's
beginning.
like 100th of a second. So
Yeah, well.
it adds up. It adds up.
Yeah,
That's all I'm
well.
gonna say.
What are you talking about?
So they have this thing called the
See,
mass
this is what happens in the
collider.
smoking circle when the one guy just like stopped being high for a minute, and he's like, "What?"
Yeah.
You said CERN, and my mind went to Mike Cernovich. So I don't know what you're talking about.
No.
No,
So okay, in somewhere out in Europe or the Netherlands or some shit like that, they have this thing called the mass. Switzerland. Thank you.
Yes.
They have this thing called the Mass Hadron Collider, and
Okay.
it smashes atoms together at really high speeds, and then like takes pictures so that they can like learn stuff about it. It's really expensive. It takes up a lot of space, and it's virtually pointless. But when they turn it on,
got the Higgs boson particle, which was only theoretical at that point, and they
Great.
understand dark matter now. So,
and look where gas prices are. So, thanks, CERN.
and I can't say much because the Livingston Observatory is like right down the road, and that discovered gravitational waves. So there you go.
To what end, though? Like, I appreciate it. I think it's interesting, but to what end?
It's a
just
further
so
understanding of the universe and that it's dodecahedron shaped. So there you go.
so much money that
Well, that's
goes
the
into
thing.
these things.
So since our episode where we talked about flat Earth, I've been giving it a lot of thought. So here's the deal: what percent of the Earth is water? 70%.
73%, 72%.
Isn't that
something like that.
humans? I thought that was
70
humans.
It mirrors what humans are too. So
Okay,
Funny how that works.
interesting.
But none of that water is carbonated.
no, it is
And
not.
if 70% of the Earth is water,
Yeah,
and none
give
of it is carbonated,
give it to me.
then it's
Give it to
it's
me.
a flat Earth.
That's what I'm here. It's
That is R-worded.
that is definitely mentally held back in a very specific manner.
That is
It's hard
R-worded. Yeah.
That is totally TikToked, of course.
Wow. How long did it take you to come up with that?
It,
You
That one's
said
been going
since we
around going around Twitter for the last couple of weeks now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He said since the Flat Earth episode. Which, to be fair, we
you
didn't
gotta
do a
set
Flat
up
Earth.
joke.
Yes,
we
you have to set
didn't-
it up.
We didn't do a Flat Earth episode. We let someone talk about Flat Earth during an episode for 8 minutes. And then afterward,
8 minutes too long.
yeah, we said, I feel like that's all we need on Flat Earth. And I was like, yeah, I agree. Kind of like the new Top Gun. I watched the 5-minute long extended trailer of the new Top Gun movie. And then
Yeah.
I looked at my husband and I was like, I think that's all I need.
That's it.
I think that's the whole movie.
You need to see Maverick
Yeah.
behind the stick one more time. That was it.
He's in a plane. It does some barrel rolls. It's Tom Cruise.
Do a barrel
Like,
roll. That's
I
right.
got it. I got the idea. I don't need
No
it
goose
anymore.
this time.
No goose. Well, goose. Yeah, goose
Spoiler
died.
alert.
Spoiler alert.
They didn't bring back
1984.
Goose.
The ghost of Goose.
They couldn't have thrown him
Yeah.
in the Hadron Collider and brought him back.
That nobody knows.
Is
what
there a
it
bar
does.
scene with the Righteous Brothers?
Yeah.
I don't know. Kelly McGillis is gonna get her old fat butt in there. I don't know.
Oh, Kelly McGillis did not. Yeah, she can't be
Yeah.
in the movie. She's not allowed.
And after that scene, she turned lesbian.
Did she? Well,
Yes, Tom Cruise doesn't have it at all.
if you had to bang Tom Cruise, wouldn't you be a lesbian afterward too?
All 5'4" of him. Yeah.
Yeah. God bless
Have
him.
you ever seen Robert Downey Jr.'s stilted shoes?
Yes, I have. It was Comic-Con 2007. They were doing pre-marketing for the Iron Man, and he come out, and I was kind of looking at him backstage, and he had 4-inch heels on his boots.
He's 5'9". Oh, he's a tiny
Yeah.
man.
But he's not. That's average. But he's standing
Yeah.
next to Chris Hemsworth and Chris Evans and Chris
Yeah.
Pratt. Like these are
Hemsworth
big
is
freaking
6'3",
dudes.
I think.
And so he has to like physically be on the same level. And it's like, why do I feel like Mark Ruffalo's short and didn't do anything about it?
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo. His personality is that of a short man.
What's my personality that of?
I'm 4'11".
Yeah, that's what I thought. About the same as yours.
5'6", as I thought.
Mark Ruffalo height. Hold on, let's find this out. 5'8". So Mark Ruffalo is shorter than Robert Downey Jr., but taller than Danny DeVito.
He's also like a terrible person, Mark
Yes.
Ruffalo.
Kind of the point I was making. He's got little man syndrome in a big way.
So, back to the question. The last 20 some odd months, we've taken 600 and some odd days to flatten the curve. People are losing their minds. People I know have died. People that I know have had siblings and other family members kill themselves over losing jobs. Over one of them was an addict, and he'd gotten away from his addiction, and he had a job. He'd just started a new job, and then COVID happened, and he lost that job, and he fell right back into that addiction.
Yeah,
you got. I mean, for the first, I think it. Hope to God it's better. But the first few months of COVID, there were all of those abusers that were now stuck at home with their families.
Mm-hmm,
I mean, it was a horrible time. The last 2 years have been very rough for a lot of people, and so our thing has been. I think I did one episode on COVID, like right before things went down, and then I was like, I'm not doing any more. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to read about it unless it affects me. Like I know what's going on. I know what tactics they're using, but beyond that, I'm not like I don't have this bookshelf isn't filled with COVID books. I find that to be a slightly odd. That I know there's one girl that I know from college who has bought every single COVID book from both sides and put them on a bookshelf.
Because she's our friend and we love her.
No, just no.
But just madness. And so there are a lot of sad people. And we decided early on with this show that we were going to be a show of hope, that we were going to highlight the good. We were going to talk about Jesus to the point that Nick Pacone didn't want to listen anymore. And that we were going to spend time highlighting the good, thinking about good things. So if I didn't ask you the first time you were on, here we go. What right now is giving you hope and motivation to continue on that you could share with our audience?
All right, so this one's going to seem a little strange. Is the Tom Woods 2000 event, walking into that ballroom and seeing 3,000 chairs set up, and then all of them got filled, plus standing room in the back. Yeah. It was the amount of people that were there to go see one guy who's been championing the other side of it. You know,
saying, Michael Malice.
Yes. And the stupid puppet that we all got disappointed with.
I mean, it's pretty Michael Malice of him to get everybody worked up thinking that someone like Joe Rogan is going to show up. And then he pulls out a puppet that looks like Tom. That's a pretty Malice move.
Put it into our minds that Alex Jones was going to be there. His family was on vacation at Universal Studios, which is right there in Orlando. His wife tweeted from there. So we're all like, oh yeah, Alex is definitely coming. And then when we get to the event, the Muppet comes out of the case, and we were like, what is this? We did it to ourselves, Cam. You understand that?
Well, what's funny is around the time you and I talked about it, I already knew.
Oh, you had already known? Yeah.
Yeah, I saw.
We were talking to Ashton Birdie out in the hallway, and she works for Alex. And she was like, yeah, guys, he's not here. I'm sorry, he's just not here.
How epic would that have been, though?
Yeah, that would have been.
Dude, that whole
great.
ballroom would have gone fucking bananas.
Because say what you will about Alex Jones, he's been right about an inordinate amount of things.
History trends toward Alex Jones being right.
Which is fucking
about
weird.
A lot of stuff. There's also a lot of stuff that he's wrong about.
Sure.
And that's the part that I get upset with. But it's
what I love is if you actually watch a lot of his stuff, he baits the corporate media a lot. Like there was this one point where he goes, just watch. What I'm about to say is hyperbole. I'm going to go into it. I'm going to talk about it, and then they're going to take it out of context. And then he went on his spiel about, I forget what it was. I think it was about Hillary Clinton. And they played that. Like I don't know how they ignored him saying this is what they'll do before. Yeah. But they had the audacity to do that. And I love that. I love that. That's
because they know
amazing.
The good people in Brooklyn, New York aren't watching Alex Jones. So
love him. What an entertaining guy.
Yeah, it was just seeing all my friends in person at the Tom Woods 2000 and how many people were there that you never know who's listening to Tom, and then you get to see a good sampling of his audience.
Yeah.
I know all of you guys because of Tom. Like, I was a leftist, and it was only by happenstance that, I had walked away from it, and somebody was like, hey, have you heard of this guy, Tom Woods? I'm like, no. And I checked him out, and then, I ended up getting a Twitter account after that. And it's just, so Tom pretty much introduced me to a lot of the people who are my friends now. So I owe that guy a lot.
Yep. And if it weren't for David, David Derryberry. Shout out to David, the last episode of Make Liberty Great Again.
Yeah.
You put this little 3-person group together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Let's find out how tall Tom Woods is.
I mean, I've seen him.
Very, very short. 5'2".
Small boy.
5'2", maybe.
But he doesn't have little guy energy.
No, he does not.
No.
It's very easy to tell how tall Malice is based on my picture next to him.
Tom Woods is 5'7", which is shorter than Mark Ruffalo. But he's got bigger balls than Mark Ruffalo. So...
I've got a bigger ball than Mike Ruffalo's too. So.
your ball on its own is bigger than Mark Ruffalo.
His nudicle could take out Mark Ruffalo's balls in a second.
Yeah.
Right. Just as a means of comparison, it's like afterwards the urologist is like checking testosterone levels and they're coming back normal, and he was like, "What were you like before when you had 2?" It's like, "Oh, you wouldn't have known."
Angry.
Am I remembering this correctly? Did they? Sorry if this is too personal, but did they give you a falsie?
Yes, I have a nudicle. So
it's okay. All right.
Yeah.
We talked about this on the episode you were on.
Okay.
Yeah.
My brain
$3,000. Wait, my surprise when I was reading the itemized bill.
How much did it cost?
$3,000.
Wow, for a fake
cheap.
one.
And I didn't even ask for it because I was unconscious.
How often do you get it swapped out?
Never. That's the same one that's been there since 2004.
You don't get one that lights up, I swear to God.
I think it's glass.
Glass?
Yeah, it's like a glass type thing.
Does it get warm? Like, does it get hot?
Not that I notice. Just body temperature as far as I know.
Glass retains heat. That's the reason I'm asking. I have so many questions.
Ask them. I want to hear them.
I mean, I'm just saying. So what strikes me is that guy served his own testicles to a group of 6 people and only made like $1,200. But you had to buy it. I know. God, they should have at least given you the opportunity to like serve that.
Keep it in a jar.
You could have paid for half the cost of your fake ball. That's all I'm saying.
Something like that.
Economy.
I think I would have been upset if it was floating in a jar next to me when I woke up after the surgery. I think I would have been like, "What is that?"
We're very different. I would want to see what it looked like.
When I had the broken tooth, I wanted to see what that looked like. I would not want to see my exploded testicle.
Right.
Oh, it wasn't like a nice,
No, with a gun.
Yeah,
like a nice pear-shaped.
A silver-tipped hollow point. So I know for a fact I am not a werewolf or a vampire. So,
or at least your ball wasn't.
The rest of you is fine. That one was the only part that wasn't.
So this is like that Russian serial killer who was a chimera, who was giving out a semen sample of his like absorbed twin brother.
Andre Chikatilo?
Yeah, they made an entire movie about it, starring Donald Sutherland.
Chikatilo
called Citizen X
was a bad dude.
Yes.
The
more of a bad dude than Corn Pop ever could be.
The
Russians are crazy. They're crazy. They know it. I'm not telling Russians anything they haven't heard before. Yes. If you said to a Russian, Russians are crazy, they'd be like, yeah, we are. We're fucking crazy.
Yeah. Have to be. It's cold.
Yeah.
It is cold.
6 months out of the year, it's freezing up there.
Vikings also crazy.
Again,
speaking of, I forgot to mention this earlier. Since we're having our genital talk, we haven't had genital talk in a while.
No, it's a Christmas episode, so why wouldn't we have genital talk?
So, Binkley told me to watch a movie called The Final Member.
The Final Member.
I don't recommend it unless you want to see penis. because it's about
I've
a
seen-
I
man.
mean, it
The
depends
Bruce
on the
Willis
context.
classic Color of Night, and that had his junk all over that movie. So
His
Well, here's
actual junk? His actual
yes,
Bruce
his
Willis
actual junk. Yes.
Well, in Iceland, I think, maybe Greenland, this dude has a penis
Jessica's
museum.
taking notes.
junk? Google it.
Yeah, Color of Night, starring Bruce Willis.
So this guy in one of the Nordic countries has a penis museum, and he collects and puts on display different mammal penises. And so the documentary is about him trying to finish his collection with a human penis, which is the final mammal that he needed.
Okay.
And so there was a very famous Nordic person from the town or area that he was from that wanted to give away his penis when he died. And so that was
It's a
the
match made in
plan.
heaven.
That was the plan. And then there was an American guy who emails him and he's like, "Hi, this is my penis," sends picture. I call him Elmo, and I would like him to be in your museum. And so the Nordic guy's like, "Oh, well, yeah, that would be cool. We already have one that's coming. We can do both." And the guy's like,
Pick
"No, I'll
one.
get it cut off right now.
Right now.
I will get it cut
Dog.
off before that other guy dies,
Settle down.
so that I can be the first penis, and that Elmo can be the penis in your museum." And that's what this documentary is about. This dude had the American flag tattooed onto the head of his penis.
Oh no.
On the head? That's where all the nerves
on the
are.
glands. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's not good. I
at
wince
one
whenever I
point-
see porn where a guy's got it like flames on the sides, and I'm like, why?
But
What is
there's this
happening?
one-
Everyone
there's
needs
this
to calm down.
There's this one scene where he's going to a doctor. I think it was like a trans doctor type person.
Of
who he
course.
was trying to get
A
them
trans doctor type
to-
person. I'm going to put that in my Twitter bio.
who he was like, "Hey, I want to remove my penis," and they were like, she was like, "Why?" And he goes, "Well, one time it got broken in the act of sex, and it hasn't been the same ever since, and it causes pain, and I'd like to get rid of it." That was his excuse to this woman. And she goes, "Okay, well, let me take a look at it." And she goes, "Is this the American flag?" So it's a wild documentary. I don't recommend it unless you want to see a penis being tattooed.
No thanks.
So
I'd
many
pass.
things.
What a great Christmas episode.
Yes.
You know, with
and
all the
I found a
accidental
still.
penis.
I found a still from the movie right there. They're all in jars.
Is that a? Looks like
Yeah.
a duck, but it's not a duck because they're mammals.
Yeah.
You know,
There's a
that
corkscrew.
explains some things.
Yeah. So weird.
Yeah.
But why? Why?
Why?
Why?
Yeah. That's,
Well, what a great
weird.
place to wrap up the episode.
with just Christopher Walken just walking in on the episode, going, "Why?"
Why? So Eric, thank you for coming back on, being
Yes.
a return guest. You're
Yeah.
in the club of
Bumping
return
my
guests
former
now.
co-host. There you go.
Thank you for coming on. Is there any? Do you want to wish these people some Christmas wishes before you go?
Sure. Bah humbug. Go get a job, hippies.
So, if you want to find Eric, he has a show called Rebel with a Cause. You can find
Yes.
everything that he does off of his Twitter. I mean, I could give you a list of the websites and stuff, but he posts every
Yeah.
time there's a new episode. He posted on Twitter at RWAC Podcast, and he has his subscribe star. You have Patreon too, I think.
No, all of that stuff went away. Canceled due to
Gotcha.
lack of interest.
Gotcha. Okay, but he puts it all up there. Links, YouTube. He's on TikTok.
Yes.
Every now and then,
I'm on
I bait him
TikTok.
into duet me.
Which
Oh,
is
we're
always
gonna-
fun.
We're gonna put together a Quiplash game. You should come play Quiplash with us.
I definitely should, because I am good at quips.
I'm sure that you are.
Yes, and better than Binkley, so I'm just going to put the gauntlet down for that one.
Whoa! 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 We are throwing some fire bombs in here,
That's right.
ladies and
Binkley,
gentlemen.
I'm coming for you, buddy.
And so with that, we will wrap up. I'm just going to make you sit there as I say all this stuff. You don't get the special treatment. You don't get to go off.
Okay.
No, you have to sit there and listen to me talk. Not much though, because we only have 2 more episodes this year. We have next week's episode with Q the Abolitionist talking about Joseph, the stepdaddy of Jesus. Weird way to put that. Followed by our end of the year episode with Brad Binkley and Warren Dent. And we've already recorded that. So, I mean, it's good. We had fun. It's like our longest episode ever as well.
Nice.
So if you're interested in that, those are coming up in the next couple weeks. If you want coffee, get one of our mugs. themadoneshop.etsy.com. I'm going to be moving the shirts over because I feel like Amazon's pretty good, but we could do better. And so I'm going to be doing a transition over the next month when I'm not recording, and hopefully getting some good stuff out there. If you want some coffee to put in your mug, Run Your Mouth Coffee, rymcoffee.com. Use promo code TheMadOnes to get 10% off. RighteousFelon.com if you want some smoked meats, promo code MadOnes. We're on Rockfin. We're on Odyssey. Just search for us there. Join us on Patreon, because every time we have an episode that we have to do early, the people who are our patrons get to hear it first. They get to be with us first, and they get to comment. Like all the comments that popped up on the video today that you're watching on December 15th, they were here with us live.
Yeah.
So join patreon.com/themadOnes.
Yeah. Fun time for everybody involved.
Oh, yeah. T-shirts, we're themadOnes.com/store. If you're listening, youtube.com/themadOnes, you can catch us live. And it's a lot more fun, and you get to look at Eric's face occasionally, and that's always a treat. Baby-faced man.
Yes, of course.
Beyond that, I think that's it. Besides, I'm on Twitter at Cam Harless. Jessica's on Twitter at SoupCanarchist. Like, subscribe, turn the bell on, join us on YouTube. I think that's it. Anything I missed, Jessica?
No.
I'm good.
We've covered everything today.
Do you have to pee?
No.
Oh.
Despite
good.
having a tall boy beer, I'm pretty good.
She brought her big girl bladder this time.
I peed before the show.
Oh.
She's learning.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's a girl, and pee isn't stored in the balls with her because she has none.
Stored in the ovaries.
Thank you.
So,
oh dear.
Merry Christmas. You'll see us next week, but Merry Christmas. And as I always like to say these days at the end of the episode, you have a chance to be a light to the world, so go light it up.